Wyatt Earp's decision to quit wearing a star and leave Dodge City provoked controversy which is still discussed to this day. Dodge City knew Marshal Earp as an honest peace officer who had helped change their town from a rowdy cow camp to a law-abiding small city. But the hoodlum element and some of their descendants used profanity in slandering Marshal Earp. Therefore, Dodge City's farewell to Wyatt was highly charged with emotion and suspense.
Stay here. Now rack those guns.
Yes, sir. Aren't you going to arrest us?
No. You got lots of cause for celebrating. You go inside and yell and scream and laugh all you want to, but you rack your guns.
They ought to get a good pistol whipping.
No. They got a right to express their opinion of me if they want to. Just rack your guns. Now go on.
Thank you, Marshal.
What is this, Wyatt? I heard yelling and shooting.
These Texans seem to want to celebrate Wyatt's leaving town.
And Wyatt let him off.
Should have busted their skulls.
Don't be soft. Arrest them, Wyatt.
No, sir. I don't want any trouble the last days of my job. Now, it'd be pretty small of me to throw those men into jail because they express an honest opinion of me. And Doc, Morgan, you and Virgil stay out of the saloons. I don't want any fighting on my account. Morgan, you haven't gotten all the equipment together for our trip yet. You better hop to it.
Wyatt, I want to talk to you. This is serious.
Yes.
Why should anyone hate Wyatt? He's only done his job.
Well, no marshal ever won a popularity contest. Besides, Wyatt is a northerner in a town full of southerners, and the Civil War is not long over. You know, being from Georgia, it's a marvel I don't hate him myself.
They don't show any ordinary human gratitude. You could have killed 10 of them instead of just throwing them in jail. Why, do you realize in all the time you've been in Dodge, you only killed one man, and that by accident?
Yeah, well, one was too many.
Well, you're not leaving with a mere thank you. Judge Tobin and I have made up our minds to that.
No, wait a minute. I don't want a big fuss on anything. What's going on?
You'll find out. Come on in the store.
Oh.
And after prayers by Father Mahoney, why, I'll make my speech. Then Judge Tobin will present you with a testimonial plaque. You'll say a few words. We'll have the barbecue.
Wait a minute. Now, look, I thank you for all the kind words, but I don't want any testimonial.
Fush, that's just your modesty.
No, sir. It's just good common horse sense.
Indeed, now.
There are a lot of cowhands out there in those cow camps that don't like me. They might start trouble.
Disturbing the ceremony? I dare 'em. I'll turn out the GAR with guns as a guard of honor.
Well, you're going to have a big brawl, huh? With all those women and children around.
There'll be absolutely no disturbance.
I don't want to seem ungrateful, but...
I want you to go and talk to the judge, Wyatt. Don't make any decision until you've listened to the judge.
All right.
He's waiting for you in the office. I had a hunch I'd have trouble with you. Of all the difficult, stubborn, hard-headed... I take it back. You're a fine young man. God love you.
And you're the best, Mayor Kelly. I'll go see the judge. Well, I got a lot of friends in this town, Judge Tobin. I got a lot of enemies, too. A lot of them. I know it sounds ungracious, but I just don't think a testimonial is wise. I'm very grateful to you and Mayor Kelly and the rest of them, but I know that as soon as
No, Wyatt. You don't know. Now, sit down, will you, please?
Yes.
Dodge City owes you a great deal, but you owe Dodge City something, too. Now, Jim has hired Neil Brown to take your place as marshal.
Well, Neil's a very good man.
Yes, but he's no Wyatt Earp. He needs the assurance that the whole town's behind him, that Dodge City will not tolerate hoodlums. Now, how would it look if word got around that we want to give Marshal Earp the send-off he deserves, but we're afraid there'll be a riot?
Well,
I know you think we're selfish, and we are. But you and Jim and I have worked a long time to bring law and order to Dodge.
Yes, sir, we have.
One more thing, Wyatt, and I want you to believe this. He'll be leaving us with some wonderful memories.
Well, sir, I was thinking of one memory I'd like to forget. And that was the day I first rode into your Dodge City. It was curiosity that led me to visit its Boot Hill. And as I looked around, I thought of the men buried there, both good and bad, and wondered how I'd fare as the new marshal of this violent cow town. Well, as it turned out, that moment of curiosity was mighty fortunate for me.
Howdy.
You related to the deceased?
Well, no, I'm just coming into town. Thought I'd stop by. This is your Boot Hill, huh?
That's right, mister. I'm Pete Bradshaw. I'm the sexton. I guess that's what you call it, but mostly I just dig graves.
You got a funeral today, huh?
Well, it ain't certain. The boys told me to get a grave ready. They aim to kill this new marshal that's coming here, Wyatt Earp.
Oh?
Yeah. You see, they chased Jack Allen, that's the old marshal, out of town. So George Hoover, that's the mayor. So George up and he hires this Wyatt Earp by telegraph. Seems like this here fella Earp made a big reputation in Wichita. I reckon this is big enough for Earp.
Well, it might be a little bit longer.
Oh, you know Earp?
Hmm.
How tall is he?
Oh, he's about, I'd say just about my height.
Well, you'd run to about 6'1"?
Just about.
6 inches I'll have to add onto this grave. Sure glad you come along, Mr.
Earp.
Yeah, Earp. Huh? You joking with me?
Well, I never joke in cemeteries, Mr. Bradshaw.
But you're just a young fella. You ain't hardly more than a boy.
Guess I kind of aged fast.
I kind of put my foot in it, didn't I?
Don't worry about it.
It's seeing you're such a good sport. I'm going to give you a tip. Don't walk down Front Street. That's the main drag. They'll be laying for you along Front Street.
They will, huh?
Yeah. Hoover and the deputies are holed up in the jail. That's on the plaza. So you go down one of the side streets and kind of sneak in the back door of the jail. That's my advice.
Thank you, but aren't you kind of talking yourself out of a good job?
Well, if it ain't you, it'll be somebody else. And this hole ain't gonna run away. Well, good luck, Mr. Earp.
Thank you, Mr. Bradshaw. And say you might make that about 6 inches wider, too. I like a lot of elbow room.
I saw a man with a star. It must be Wyatt Earp. Wyatt Earp's in town. Hey, Wyatt Earp is here.
Hey, you Wyatt Earp? That's right.
Take care of your friend.
Stop moaning. You're not hurt that bad. Here, plug it up with that and go see the doc. Hold it! Go pick up your friends.
Bushwhackers. Anybody else that doesn't like the new marshal?
Well, I found out there were. And the day Ned Buntline got himself into trouble and we found ourselves trapped, I was really scared.
Oh, no.
What is it?
Get out on your faces, everybody!
There's nobody alive in there.
We'll make sure. Burn it down. I'll cover you.
Now's our chance. I think they're reloading. Mr. Buntline, here's where I use your gun.
Of course, they weren't all unpleasant memories, Judge. I'll never forget my meeting with Shotgun Gibbs a year or so ago in Wyoming. I've been grateful for it ever since. He became the best deputy I ever had. Mr. Gibbs was a solitary man who lived in outlaw country and was determined to be left alone. That's all he wanted, was just to be left alone. When I rode up to his spread that day and was roped into hearing his theories about a peaceable life, well, it didn't take him long to show me that when he said he was a peaceable man, he could darn well prove it.
Can't you read?
Yeah, I can read, Mr. Gibbs.
Now, I'm a peaceable man. I love peace. Oh. But if I don't learn you, I'll have all creation a-riding in here. You any good with your fist?
Oh, pretty good.
Well, that's a relief. 'Cause I sure hate to whip a man who can't put up a decent fight.
Wouldn't you like to talk a little bit first?
Nope. You're too darn fancy. Stand still, will you?
All right.
You're too darn good with your fists.
Now, why don't you just agree to a little conversation, huh?
I come out here to get away from talk. You go put on your guns.
Where are yours?
I'm gonna fetch it right now.
Good.
Yes, sir, Mr. Gibbs did indeed fetch it. And as we went for our weapons, I was in for another surprise. I soon discovered the reason for his curious nickname.
Ain't you got a 45?
I like this. We'll shoot at my distance.
I'm taking unfair advantage, Mr. Gibbs. You can't do much damage at that distance with the shotgun.
You stay where you are. I raise my gun. You start a firing.
You've had enough, Mr. Gibbs. Look, you want peace? I'm a peace officer.
You hear me? I'm a United States Deputy Marshal.
Let me see that pistol you shot me with. "12-inch barrel.
It's a Buntline special. Hey, your shot almost blew my head off. What were you using?
It's a rifle slug, hand-loaded into a brass case. It's my own invention. But it takes a British Greener shotgun to handle it. You could have killed me, but you didn't do it. That makes me beholden to you.
Well, you'll have a chance to get even, Mr. Gibbs. Here.
And, Judge, I thought I was going to need Shotgun Gibbs the day the Bar Q boys turned out in Dodge, hoping to see me get beat up by Big Rance and his friends. Rance challenged me to a fight. His reputation with his fists had me worried, but, well, it was a challenge that could not be ignored without its effect. I didn't have much choice.
Your name, Rance?
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Give us first, man.
Wyatt! Stop it! Stop it! What happened? Why is Wyatt fighting?
He had no choice.
You stop him! He's lost his mind! He'll put his eyes out! He'll blind him!
Can't stop a fight. Ranch won't quit.
Wyatt! Stop it! Stop it!
Throw some water on it. You can take more of a beating than this.
No, Wyatt, please! You've whipped him!
Stay
Get
back,
up!
Sally. Keep her back.
He's had all he can take.
All right. Anybody else want some?
Yeah, I do. Driscolls can't whoop you. Us Rakels can.
No, Wyatt, don't fight anymore!
She's right. You're tired. Look, I either run this town or I don't. Come on, get up!
Well, when he finally did get up, he knew the Bar Q wasn't running Dodge City.
But remember, Wyatt, we all have more respect for the man wearing that star.
Maybe, but we shouldn't give him any excuse for a wild send-off.
Do you really mean that you'd leave Dodge without a fitting tribute to the work you've done? And let it be said that we're all scared of a few hoodlums?
I just haven't looked at it that way. Well, I guess I'll go through with it.
Ah, thank you, Wyatt.
Do me a big favor, will you?
Yes?
You try and persuade Mayor Kelly to limit his speech to a very, very, very short one.
Well, that'll be difficult. But I'll do my best.
Thank you, sir. I'll see you later.
Right, Wyatt.
Joe, it's good to see you. Well, yeah, nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Been a long time. How are you? Almost time to commence and no sign of Wyatt.
He'll be here. He said he would.
We can delay a few minutes, Jim. And if he isn't here, you can use your long speech. Have you got it with you?
Have I? Right here. 20 minutes. And since our official guest of honor, Marshal Earp, has been detained on official business, I will ask Judge Tobin to show you the testimonial plaque we had made in Kansas City. I'm sure you will agree that the judge and I have spent your free will contributions wisely. Judge Tobin.
We decided on a silver star and an inscription plate mounted on a genuine mahogany shield. From the citizens of Dodge City to Marshal Wyatt Earp, at the risk of his life and facing many enemies, he gave us law and order.
And now, my friends, before I introduce the distinguished gentleman on the platform, I have an announcement to make. Here he comes now. Here he comes now. Look, there's the marshal. You're late, Wyatt. Come on up here, Wyatt.
Come on up here, Wyatt. You're to sit there by the testimonial plaque.
Thank you.
The barbecue is about to begin, so I will not detain you long with my oration. But of Wyatt Earp, the man we honor today, it can truly be said, we love him for the enemies he has made. To paraphrase from Lord Macaulay, these enemies hate Wyatt Earp, and he will deserve our love so long as he is hated by such as they. Liars, thieves, poltroons, scoundrels, such they are, and such as they are, may all who hate him be.
Come on. I hope that you will believe that your hard and dangerous duty has been well worthwhile.
Thank you, sir. Better see what that shooting's about.
And now may I present this plaque.
Go on, Morg. Hop up in the wagon.
We'd rather have a new one made and send it to you in Arizona.
A new one without the bullet hole.
I'd rather have this one. Kind of like those bullet holes. It's a special endorsement from the Bar W. Judge, thank you for everything.
Good luck, Wyatt.
Mayor Kelly,
Goodbye, Wyatt.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I go with you, please.
Later, my friend. You let me go out to Arizona and find out what it's all about first, huh? Morg? Roll 'em, Virgil.
Wait for me, Wyatt. Hold on a minute. You got another passenger. Any objections?
But, Doc, what would Arizona be like without you? Hop aboard.
Good luck, Wyatt.
Roll 'em, Virgil.
Tombstone is 4 miles by the left fork. But I guess my poker game in Galeyville could wait.
Well, I doubt that, Doctor. Anyway, I'm going into Tombstone alone.
Taking off your guns?
That's right. You hang on to them for me, would you?
If you're going in alone, you better keep them.
No, sir. I'm going into Tombstone as a land agent for the Earp Brothers Incorporated. I'm not a marshal anymore. Anyway, an unarmed stranger's a lot safer than a fella toting guns.
Wyatt and Tombstone, they don't care if a man is armed or not. They just shoot him in the back. And then they search his body to see what they can steal.
Yeah, I almost forgot that. Hang on to that for me, too, will you? So long, Doc.
You stubborn ox. You'll find out, and soon, when you meet up with the clamp.
In Tombstone, a miner was shot in the back for a few bags of silver ore. Immigrant miners fought outlaw cowboys on Allen Street. Violence ruled Tombstone, which had but one peace officer. An effort was made to blow up the city jail as a gesture of contempt for the dirty politics in Tombstone.
All right, bring him out here. Come on, bring him out here, boy. We'll learn you miners to stay away from the bird cage. It's ours. All right, boys, get to work.
Come on now, boys, stop it.
Miss Cash,
What are you trying to do, Denver? Start a riot?
just greasing feathers.
We'll get even.
And they sure will. Why don't you turn them loose, Denver?
The bird cage is our hangout. We don't want no dirty miners around here. The Oriental Saloon is theirs. They should stay there. Plaster them good.
All right, plaster them good and then have your fight. I'll get the hospital ready.
Get busy with those feathers.
There's some water for you, Candy.
Whoa, stranger. You have to pay me first.
What is it, champagne?
No, sir, it's my water. 2 bits a gallon. The trough belongs to the Oriental.
Where's the public trough?
Young fella, there ain't no free water in Tombstone. We haul this water from way down in the valley.
Way down the valley, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, here's a half a buck. Give me 2 gallons, huh?
Well, thank you, young fella. Oh, say, mister, how many horse swallows is 2 gallons?
Hold it, cowboy. Get your horse away from our trough.
This ain't exactly your trough, Mr. Grogan. It belongs to the Oriental.
You keep out of this, Powder. No cowboys allowed around the Oriental. It belongs to us miners.
I'm not a cowhand, friend.
Take him to the bird cage. That's where he belongs.
Mister, you shouldn't have done that.
My fight.
I'm next.
All right, no more fight.
Take my horse on over to the bird cage.
Pour some water on him. He needs it.
All right, boys, give us a hand. I'll take him out.
Got an awful lump on his head. Give me a hand.
He's no friend of mine, lady.
You help me. Those miners will come out and beat him some more.
This ain't my fight, lady.
Denver! Denver!
Yes, Miss Flynn?
Oh, Denver, give me a hand with this cowboy.
Dr. Goodfellow. Thank heavens you're here. The fighting may start any minute.
Now, who is it this time?
The cowboys and the miners again.
Don't you ever give up, Nellie? Cowboys, outlaws, these miners. You're wasting your sympathy, and I'm wasting my time.
Oh, Jose, come and get this man, will you? Take the next bed right over there. Easy now. Take it easy.
Well, come in, come in.
take a lot of time with this miner. What about the cowboy?
He'll have to wait his turn.
He's not in bad shape, Miss Clanton. That miner over there looks like he's got a broken rib. The miner started the fight. I saw it. You saw it? He could have killed all four of them with his fists. That coward hit him with a club.
I should hold him till I can get back to him.
You look at the cowboy next, huh?
Cowboy, huh?
What do you think, Doc?
I'm afraid I'll have to operate on this one, Millie.
But you said the cowboy's next.
All right, all right. Jose.
See?
Pressure bandage for this fellow's head.
See?
Doctor, you attend the miners, and a cowboy's turned over to someone else.
Miss Clanton, this cowboy hasn't even got a cracked skull. That miner needs surgery. Now, don't pester me. I'm busy.
Howdy. Where am I?
Tombstone. Well, this is Dr. Goodfellow, and I'm Nellie Cashman. I have the Cashman Hotel next door. You've got a wallop on the head.
Must be pretty handy with your fists.
For a cowboy. Usually you fellas are only handy with your guns.
Cowboy. You think I'm a cowhand, huh?
Our local paper calls you fellas cowboys.
Doctor, I'm not a cowboy. I just came town to try and buy some real estate. I hope those miners aren't too bad hurt.
Fractured jaw, busted rib. I should charge you for the operations, but you better leave town. You can't fight 3,000 miners.
Doc, you look tired. Why don't you go on in the hotel and have your dinner, huh?
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Friendly old cuss, ain't he?
You gave him an awful lot of extra work today.
Miss Cashman, I didn't start that fight. I was just trying to water my horse.
Well, those miners had just been greased and feathered by cowboys, and you're a cowboy, so it doesn't matter who started it. What's your name?
Well, I seem to remember Charlie Jones.
Charlie Jones. Well, it suits me. Mr. Jones, you'd be doing me a favor if you left town.
Why?
Because I'm trying to stop a big shoot-up between the cowboys and the miners.
Miss Cashman, I'm not a cowboy and I'm not a miner.
You're dressed like one. Emma Clanton had a Clanton rider bring you in here, and she says you're a cowboy.
Well, no. And by the way, where's my horse?
My stable?
Thank you.
Don't thank me. Just leave Tombstone. Emma's probably rounding up that Clanton gang right now. They've just been itching for an excuse to raid this town, and I'm afraid you're it.
Where's your marshal?
It's an old man.
What about the sheriff?
His office is in Tucson. That's 90 miles from here. Well, there isn't any law here, Mr. Jones. No law at all.
You have a room for me over at your hotel?
Yes, but... Mr. Jones, you ought to leave Tombstone before sunup.
The Clantons need a better excuse than me. What about the miners? What are you going to do about them?
Well, Mr. Gert is the biggest mine operator here. I could talk to him.
Well, then I'll think about leaving town. You seen my boots?
Oh.
Thank you. When'd you, first start being the peacemaker of Tombstone?
I wouldn't say I'm that. I just happen to like it here, Mr. Jones. A lot of people tell you this is a pretty rough town. And it is. But it can be a fine place to live. People around here just need to realize that there's room for everybody here without anybody being taken advantage of.
Miss Cashman, you're quite a lady.
I know how you feel, boys, but I'll tell you this. If the Clantons come to make a fight, I'll unlock the company guns.
What about that cowboy?
If you think he ought to be run out of town, go ahead.
But no company guns.
Yes, sir.
Papa, he can fight. He put 3 miners in the hospital with his fists.
Most likely I'll hire him.
Don't hurry. Nellie Cashman will turn him over to the miners. The boys should ride into Tombstone and help him.
No, it ain't sensible to make a big fight with him. Just set up a holler for a real Johnny Law at Tombstone. If this cowboy can shoot, baby, you hire him on the spot.
He wasn't carrying guns.
Maybe he had to sell them for grub. Take him a couple of mine.
Thanks, Papa. Can I start now?
At night?
Well, I was just afraid that maybe...
Em, honey, I promised your ma you'd be raised a lady, and by the holy, you've been raised a lady, and no lady rides into Tombstone after dark.
All right, Papa. Morning, then. Night.
Night, baby.
Who's there?
Nellie Cashman.
Come in.
Mr. Jones, there's been a lot of ugly talk amongst the miners. Won't you please get out of here before it's too late?
Miss Cashman, I'm afraid it's already too late. Take a look out that window. Necktie party?
They promised me they'd let you leave. Now, I don't know what's happening. They're wearing guns. Maybe you better stay here in the hotel.
Has Tombstone always been divided between the miners and the cowboys?
Afraid it's not that simple, Mr. Jones. You see, the cowboys are what we call insiders. That means that they're inside the 10% ring that boss this territory. And the Clantons are with them, so they're insiders, too.
And what about the miners?
Outsiders. They want a decent town, and they fight against the 10% ring and the Clantons.
Well, where does your marshal stand?
Fred White's out of town. Well, Mr. Gird's still our best chance. He can control the miners if...
Miners all around the hotel. Papa loaned you these guns.
So you are a cowboy?
No, Miss Nellie. But I've never been run out of town.
All right, give me half an hour. Mr. Gird.
Oh, Miss Cashman.
Mr. Gird, you promised me that you'd let him leave town.
You didn't tell us he was a Clanton gunslinger.
But he's not. I'm sure he's not.
Didn't the Clanton girl just take his guns into him?
Yes, but... What do your men plan to do?
The Chief White isn't here, so we're going to take him to jail ourselves. I won't have my men being beaten up by a Clanton.
He is a Clanton man. You know he won't stay there 5 minutes.
I can't control my men unless I make the effort. Now you tell Jones to come on out here unarmed and surrender to me.
It's Nellie. It's all fixed. You surrender to Gird, he puts you in jail, and then one of Clanton's judges gets you out of jail.
I'm sorry.
Well, then would you at least try to get out of town?
All right, I'll hear that much.
Come on, follow me.
Miners?
They're waiting for you. There's an old mine shaft down in the cellar. You could follow the drift to the edge of town, and I'll stall them for a few minutes until you get a head start.
Right.
Oh, you wait here. I'll send Jose with a lantern.
Thank you.
You go left the first stope. Turn right and follow narrow drift.
Thank you.
Left to edge of town, senor.
Close that behind me.
See?
Mr. Jones? Mr. Jones? I wonder where he could have gone.
Down the mine stoop in your cellar. But we'll get him. Now, I know you mean well, Nellie, but you keep out of it.
All right, you two boys go in this one and start towards Allen Street from here.
Come down here and you get a bullet.
Don't shoot. You might hit Tad or Mike.
Jose, put him in the last bed, will you? Take it easy. Take the bed over there. Easy. Jose, can you get this man?
Mr. Gerd, you and Miss Nellie are fools. Besides these men, how many has he killed?
None we could find, and we can't find him either.
Now, Doc, Mr. Jones is a decent man. After all, he could have killed 15 or 20 men.
Decent? If he had 1 ounce of decency, he would have killed them. Now I've got to work all day extracting 45 slugs.
My company will pay you, Doctor.
I don't need money. I need time.
What are you doing, minding or fighting?
I've been fighting.
Where have you been and where are my guns?
I got them right here. Is the fight still going on, or did you get selfish?
What, with 3,000 miners? You want to do some fighting, there's still plenty left. I'm going to go and try and find Dick Gerd. He's the head of the miners. He ought to be over at the hospital. Well, you hang on to those guns. They're Emma Clanton's. Yeah, you were right, Doc. This is the meanest town I ever saw.
Sure empty this street. What do you got against Dick Gerd?
You gotta call the miners off, being as that he runs them.
Does he know who you are?
No, he thinks I'm a cowboy. Wait here, would you?
No worries, Sam. You'll be back in action in no time.
Mr. Good, I'd like to talk to you outside.
You? I'd like nothing better.
Mr. Good, if you want to go on with this fight, you're going to be next. Now, when I came into this town, I was unarmed and alone.
A Clanton is never alone.
Him a Clanton? Looks like I'll have to introduce you, gentlemen. Dick Good, I want you to meet Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt Earp? From Dodge City?
Look out!
Well, you're Wyatt Earp, all right. I'll tell my boys the fighting's over. Come on, you hit that bat.
Maybe it's just begun.
What makes you think so? We miners made a mistake about him. We won't bother him again.
Can you vouch for the Clantons, too?
They won't start anything without a reason.
The deacon has the miserable character of a man who can't turn his back on evil, and Tombstone is evil.
Well, Doc, I ain't going to be here that long.
Hold her right there, mister. Who are you?
Deputy Sheriff Earp, Tombstone.
How many men did you bring?
She's probably got a posse hiding in the brush. What are you doing here?
I have a warrant for Mr. Clanton. Charge of horse stealer.
You think you are going to arrest Mr. Clanton? Oh.
The old man ain't home. There ain't nobody home.
When will Mr. Clanton be back?
That's his business. Now you push on back to Tombstone pronto.
Mister, I don't like to have a gun pointed at me. You cock that rifle and you won't hear it click.
Wyatt made his decision to serve as Chief Deputy Sheriff of Tombstone. In fact, as historians have pointed out, Wyatt was trapped in Tombstone by the threat of Old Man Clanton to bushwhack him if he left, and by his own stubborn bravery.
He's hurt.
You know him, Doc?
Mm-hmm. Herm Ritter wanders around the territory trading horses. A vigorous outdoor life makes men like him indestructible.
He must be indestructible. 3 slugs in him. Lost a lot of blood.
Means nothing. They never die till the sand begins running out.
Mr. Ritter, who shot you?
Where's Fred White?
Herm, this is Marshal Wyatt Earp from Dodge City.
Earp? No joking. What's an honest man like you doing in the Arizona Territory?
We shanghaied him. Tell Earp who shot you, Herm.
The Clantons. Who else? Ran off 20 head of horses. A whole string.
Where are the horses now, Mr. Ritter?
I can answer that. In old man Clanton's corral. Right, Herm?
Yeah.
Herm Ritter, you been in a gunfight?
He got bushwhacked by the Clantons.
What? I have a recurring dream. I dream that old man Clanton's under anesthetic and I have a knife in my hands. The knife slips and I wake up. I wonder what Hippocrates would say. Now, I'll see you in about an hour.
Oh, Doc.
Huh?
It's all right to give him some water, isn't it?
Yeah, not too much.
Here you are, Mr. Ritter. Not too much now.
I'll do it.
Thank you. I'll write out a warrant.
Good. Mr. Gurdon, I'll help you find a posse.
No, Miss Nellie.
Don't joke, Wyatt.
I'm not joking. I gotta get the horses first. A warrant's no good without evidence of theft.
But you can't go out there alone.
It's the only way I can go out there. Mr. Ritter?
Yes, sir.
I want you to take your time, but I want you to tell me everything that happened.
Wyatt, Excuse me, Mr. Ritter, but I'm morally responsible for this man. Now, take Fred White with you. At least swear in some special deputies.
The more men I take out there, the less chance I'm going to have of finding those horses. I'm going to find them, and I'm going to arrest Mr. Clinton.
And they'll simply shoot you down.
He's Wyatt Earp, sure enough. You go back to your hotel and don't worry about him, Miss Nellie.
All right, I'll go get Doc Holliday. Maybe he can keep you from committing suicide.
Miss Nellie sweet on you?
She's sweet on the whole human race. That's the trouble. Now, let's start with the description of the horses,
There are 4 roans.
Hurry up, or he may be gone.
Madam, I don't intend to argue with Wyatt.
You mean you're going to let him ride to certain death?
Miss Cashman, Wyatt Earp has been riding to certain death for the past 5 or 6 years. The good Lord has his own plan for each of us. But I intend to get mortal help.
Hold her right there, mister. Who are you?
Deputy Sheriff Earp, Tombstone.
How many men did you bring?
He's probably got a posse hiding in the brush. What are you doing here?
I have a warrant for Mr. Clanton. Charge of horse stealing.
You think you are going to arrest Mr. Clinton?
The old man ain't home. There ain't nobody home.
You fellas guarding an empty ranch house?
Boys had some trouble down at the border. Old man Clanton and his sons went down to help out.
When will Mr. Clanton be back?
That's his business. Now you push on back to Tombstone pronto.
Mister, I don't like to have a gun pointed at me. You cock that rifle and you won't hear it click.
Sholto, Frenchie, you stop that.
He threatened us, didn't he, Frenchie?
Where?
I know Mr. Earp. I'll talk to him.
Oh, he's on the payroll, eh? Why didn't you say you were an insider?
My business is with Mr. Clanton. I'll be happy to talk to Miss Emma.
Sholto, you two go to the cook shack and make some coffee.
Yes, sir. Come on, Frenchie.
You came down alone?
There are 20 horses in your corral. They belong to a Mr. Ritter.
Oh. For a minute I thought you'd decided to work on the inside, but I see the star now.
Your papa gave me no choice. I came in here alone because I figured you folks wouldn't shoot at the law.
We never have. We haven't had to. Walk in. No ambush.
Well, that's mighty comforting. Allow me.
Of course you have a warrant.
Mm-hmm.
But just put it on the table. When Papa gets back, he'll turn himself in to Judge Griscom.
I've met Judge Griscom. He's one of your men. I wouldn't take a horse-stealing case to him.
You're not very bright, are you? Don't you know Papa has a bill of sale for those horses? And hasn't it occurred to you that Papa and the boys just might be back by sunup?
Miss Emma, I never claimed to be bright. A fellow with sharp intelligence wouldn't have worn one of these for 9 to 5 years.
You sit down. Let me tell you something about life in Arizona Territory.
Yes, ma'am. I have lots of time.
All right. Now, in the first place, the Yankees run the government at Washington. But we run the government in Arizona. Mr. John C. Fremont is the carpetbagger in charge. There's nothing sensible about it, Mr. Earp. This isn't Dodge City. It's still a wilderness with Apaches and tough men. Papa had to be tough.
Well, I wouldn't try to turn you against your papa, no matter what he's done.
You don't get the point. Billy's a kid away at school. Finn's all right with a gun, but Ike is windy. They're no help to Papa. He had to hire gunslingers to help him with his cattle business.
Miss Emma, the Army's going to round up all the Apaches. Honest law is coming to Tombstone. Now, where's that going to leave the Clantons?
We can't quit.
Why not?
Brocious, Ringo, the McLowrys, Swilling, Spence, the 10%ers in Tucson. We all just drifted into this together. If what you say is true, it'll be wide open war.
Not necessarily for you, Emma.
Oh, yes. I love Papa. What happens to him happens to all of us.
Isn't there some young man that you'd like to marry?
Well...
Somebody that would take you away from Arizona? I'm sure you've had many offers. Or am I being too personal?
Why are you so interested?
Well, I don't rightly know.
There's a way to find out. Take a job with Papa. Join the Insiders. Then I'd be interested. That kiss was just to find out something. You feel sorry for me. Well, I don't need that. I'm a Clanton, and that's all I'll ever be. So save your pity. Sholto, Frenchie!
Frenchie went down the road to warn your old man.
Take him.
Hold it. Drop it. Leave it alone. Get over there. Now sit down. I said sit down.
I don't take orders from you.
I'm sorry, Miss Emma, but I'm going to have to hold you as a hostage. If your father's close enough for Frenchie to find, there may be a little trouble.
Plenty for you.
Stay right there.
Who is it? Doc Holliday. I want to talk to Luke Short, McMasters, and Johnson, personal. Howdy, Luke. Sherman? Turkey Creek?
I thought it was a ghost.
You should have been dead long ago, Doc.
You know, I heard they buried you up in Deadwood last winter.
Have a drink. Unless you have some scruples about drinking with a ghost.
Not me, Doc.
You all know Wyatt Earp. He went up to the Clanton ranch to arrest old man Clanton, alone. I know that ain't very bright, but I said he went up alone.
That's too bad.
He's probably dead by now.
Yeah, I don't think so. I met up with the Border Patrol, talked to the sergeant, and he said that Clanton and his men were going to steal some Mexican cattle along the Pertlerville line.
Well, there'd only be the 4 of us, Doc.
I told you Clanton isn't there yet.
Still ain't enough.
You owe me $800, and you owe me $950. You got the cash? Look, Short, you owe Wyatt Earp your life. Fast guns, but slow pay.
Watch your temper, Doc.
You cheap welchers. All I'm asking you to do is risk your worthless hides.
Mr. Clinton! Mr. Clinton!
Mr. Clinton, you have a visitor. A Mr. Wyatt Earp. But Miss Emma, she is stalling him. You see, she take him into the house while I make the coffee. Meanwhile, she talks
Hold
to
it,
the general...
Frenchie. Where's Sholto?
He is on guard outside.
Papa Earp's a fool. He rode right into it.
They'll never find his grave. Hush up, Ike. I'm studying this. No. Earp ain't no fool. He wouldn't ride onto my place, serve a warrant all by himself. Where's the posse at?
No posse.
I told you, Papa Earp is a fool.
Oh, we'll see. Ike, you and Finn circle a home spread from the north and the east. The rest of us will circle but south and west. We don't flush a posse. We'll move right in.
Yes, Papa.
And take 'em, Papa? Kill the varmint.
Sun up, Miss Emma.
I've got eyes.
I was thinking we could tie up Sholto and go fix yourself a little breakfast.
You'll never get any of our food unless you steal it.
What a temper. I've decided not to use you as a hostage if that's what you're so upset about.
Maybe you're tired of living.
No. I just don't think that your papa would kill a lawman. All he has to do is to ride into Tombstone with me. We'll soon find out.
Papa, I don't want to fight here. You make a run for it, and I'll stall Papa and the boys.
Miss Emma, I came here to serve a warrant, and that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, don't be foolish. I'll hide. Your shoulder won't say anything. He knows what'll happen if he does.
That ain't the reason, Miss Emma. They can take Earp, but he'll kill your old man. Maybe Finn and Ike before he goes down.
That's right.
Emma! Sholto! Something's wrong, boys. Lie down.
I'll scream and warn Papa.
Just take it slow and easy. Come on.
Mr. Clanton.
Shut up. I have a warrant for your arrest, Mr. Clanton.
Well, you back in the law business, Sonny?
He is wearing a star, Papa. Now, don't you go to shooting any stars. You know what'll happen.
You keep out of this, Em. Go on back in the house. And you boys, I'll tell you when.
Papa, all you have to do is ride into town, and Judge Griscom will turn you loose. Now, you know that's more sensible.
You're a lady. I don't want you mixed up in this. Sholto, take her in the house.
No, listen. You can kill him, but he'll get 2 or 3 of you.
And you'd be first.
Take her in the house.
This is just plain stupid, Papa.
Maybe Em's right, Papa. We ain't never fired in the law. You hush up or run if you're scared.
Hush up, both of you. What you accusing me of?
Stealing Mr. Ritter's horses?
Well, that settles it. Boys,
Throw him down or fight. Shoot him in the back, Wyatt. He ain't worth killing front ways.
Holiday, McMaster, Short, and Johnson. I ain't in this play.
No doctor can fix a broken spine.
Papa?
Don't try it. Help Mr. Clanton on his horse. Now, you boys let your guns cool a little while.
Luke, stampede the horses through. They don't want the horses, they want old man Clanton. Put him in front of the rock. No more shooting! You hear me? I said no more shooting!
Send one of them down here.
Hey, boys. Ike up there? Yes, Papa. Send him down. Hold your fire. I'm going down there.
Keep that low.
This is a fool play. You can't take Papa into Tombstone now.
I'm doing it.
No, you aren't. You'll be fighting every 100 yards.
How many boys you got, Ike?
Enough. And there's more between here and Tombstone.
Don't be silly, Earp. You got the horses. Turn me loose.
I favor killing him. Sure, they're bluffing, Wyatt.
I don't know that they are.
No bluff, Sonny. Too many guns. They'll just pick you off.
I think you're right, Mr. Clanton. Let him go, Doc. You can pick up your horse later. Mr. Clanton? Any more shooting? We'll shoot you down when you scatter.
Try.
Just hold in, Ike. This ends it for this time, far as I'm concerned.
Papa.
They could have killed me before you all boys got here, and I ain't saying I'm beholden to no Johnny Law, neither. And if an Earp stays in Tombstone, there's gonna be a sure enough war. No use in me getting killed in the first skirmish.
You're a fool, Wyatt. You've turned your back on too many killings. Old man Clanton's found out your only weakness.
No Doc's talking sense, Wyatt. It's kill or be killed in this Arizona country.
Look, I don't believe in shooting prisoners. Bringing those horses in is enough for now. Let's catch up with McMasters and Luke.
Why, it's got Herm Ritter's whole string back. Now we're getting someplace.
You think so? Those Clantons aren't whipped yet. Not by a long shot.
Whoa, Papa, now cool down.
Hush up. Count it, Finn. Count it! I'm so plumb mad I can't see straight.
$2,000.
That's for you all boys. But you gotta kill Shotgun Gibbs first.
Right here in Tombstone?
Right here, and I tell you where he is. He's over in Pat McGeehan's livery stable.
Are you sure?
He's in there, currying that mule. One more thing. Kill the mule, too.
We'll get them both, Papa.
Wyatt Earp helped John Clum start the Tombstone Epitaph because he wanted an honest newspaper. His next move was to try to elect an honest judge. Wells Spicer, lately arrived from the East, was chosen to run against Judge Griscom. And since Griscom was allied with the Clantons and with the infamous 10% ring, beating him at the polls would not be a political fight. It would be a battle with fists and guns, for which the term dirty politics was too mild a name.
Tombstone, 2.5 miles. Well, Roscoe, old boy, we're finally getting there. Well, there ain't no use in you going and laying down your ears like that. You know we agreed to come on down here and help Marshal Earp. Yeah, I know. There ain't no peace in Tombstone, but there wasn't no peace in Wyoming either. So, by George, you just behave yourself and get on along there. Don't give me no more of your trouble. Oh, go down, Roscoe. Not too close. Roscoe don't like strangers.
You call that Canon Roscoe, friend?
No, friend. Roscoe's my mule. The 10 gauge ain't got no name.
He ain't as bad as he looks, Hank. How'd you like to earn $10?
What doing?
Voting 10 times tomorrow.
Who for?
Judge Griscom. Ask him, does he know how to vote?
Yeah, you just asked me an insulting question like that, and the 4 of us are gonna tangle.
4?
Yeah, me and my mule. He's better than a strong man in a rough and tumble. Bites and kicks harder.
Sure. How about it? You want to earn that $10?
Well, I ain't got no objection to voting 10 times, but I ain't even a resident of Tombstone.
Well, here are your credentials. Title to a city lot and a hotel bill at Nellie Cashman's. We think of everything, friend.
Is that so? Well, there's one thing you ain't thought of.
What's that?
The $10.
Well, how do we know you'll vote? No, that's all right. Never mind. Here's your $10.
Well, I'm much obliged to you. Let's go, Roscoe.
Man, is he green. Just the way we like him.
I never made a political speech in my life. I'm just telling you medical facts. Nate Griscom has a heart like a chicken's gizzard. It's my personal and professional opinion that Nate has rocks where his brain ought to be. Now, the only other thing wrong with Griscom is that the sand in his craw is plain mud. That's what I think of Judge Griscom. I don't know Wells Spicer, his opponent, professionally, but if Mr. Spicer was a yellow dog, I'd vote for him against Griscom.
Well, Roscoe, I guess that's about the best political speech we ever did here, ain't it?
Well, that's all I've got to say. Vote for Spicer!
Shotgun.
Hello, Wyatt.
Shotgun, good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Roscoe. Roscoe, how are you? Best mule in the whole world. Mind if I kiss him?
I sure do mind. I don't figure it'd be too manly either of you.
I won't kiss you, but it sure is good to see you.
Oh, it's good to see you, Wyatt. Listen, you got an office around here so we can talk spell?
Inside, come on.
Well, that's about it, Wyatt. I took a bribe to vote 10 times for a man whose heart looks like a chicken's gizzard. I guess I better go look up them scamps and give them their $10 back.
No, sir.
How's that?
Mr. Gibbs, there are 10 precincts in this town. I want you to take that money. I want you to vote for Judge Griscom in each of those 10 precincts, just like they wanted you to.
Yeah, just hold on, boy. You ain't changed, have you?
Well, little. See, Tombstone's a lot rougher town than Dodge City ever thought of being. I'm up against a sizable crowd of outlaws here.
Them Clantons? I told Roscoe that when I heard you had pinned on a star. Speaking of stars, where's mine?
It comes after the election. We're trying to get a crook off the judge's bench.
What do you want me to go down there and vote 10 times for Griscom for?
If they're going to play rough, we're going to have to play rough. I want to try and catch Clanton and Judge Griscom in an election fraud. You hang on to that phony title and the hotel bill. We'll need them later.
Oh, I get it. I'm going to be your stool. Is that it?
Well, I hope it works out that way. It really won't be illegal. I'm swearing you in as a special deputy. What about Roscoe? He had his supper?
That mule can wait. I ain't had my supper.
Mr. Gibbs, the big battle starts tomorrow, and I don't want you to be a marked man yet. You're going out the back door to Nellie Cashman's hotel. I'll take Roscoe on over to the stable.
I told that mule, I said, oh, Wyatt's going to be in trouble, I said. Well, that's all right. Trouble's better than peace. Because it still proves to me you're your own man.
Dr. Goodfellow, you and Miss Cashman, Mr. Gerd, you know this town, the miners, a lot better than I do. Now, if you think challenging illegal voters at the polls is better, then I'm all for it. But I think the best strategy might be let Clanton, Griscom think that they're stealing the election and then get them for it.
Wyatt, excuse me, but Spicer isn't here. You don't suppose he's been bushwhacked, do you?
I'll let Dr. Goodfellow tell you about that.
Well, Spicer has ethics. He wouldn't beg votes for a judicial office.
Oh, I see. Yeah, he's a good man.
Well, I just hope that you and Spicer know what you're doing, Wyatt. I won't order my miners how to vote, you know.
I think Wyatt's right, but I think we ought to put the matter of tactics to a vote.
Let's have a vote. All those in favor of watching the polls, raise your hand. All those in favor of Marshal Earp's plan?
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Good.
We'll let the Clantons stuff the ballot boxes. Since Miss Nellie Cashman is our election clerk, she'll have possession of the boxes.
There's one other thing, Dr. Goodfellow. The election judges, they should know every person that's entitled to vote. Who are the judges?
Well, Mr. Gerd, me.
Well, that's fair enough.
Well, then, gentlemen, I move that we adjourn.
Good.
Good night.
Good
Good
night,
night.
Doctor.
Good night.
Thank you very much.
Good night, Miss Nellie.
night.
Good night.
Wyatt, you know those Clantons aren't going to let us count those ballots without a row.
Well, Dr. Holliday and Mr. Gibbs and I, we've kind of thought about that.
Excuse me, Roscoe's done already ate, and I ain't.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Gibbs. Wyatt, you take him in the dining room, and I'll go roust out the cook.
Thank you, ma'am. Sure is a nice lady, ain't she?
Yep, she sure is. Even the outlaws trust her.
Oh, Mr. Clanton, sir. Welcome to the Nugget office.
Evening. How many votes we need for Judge Griscom?
Well, I'd say 500 extra would do it.
500?
Yes, sir, Mr. Clanton, to be real safe.
All right, 500.
Would you like to see the editorial I'm running?
No, I'm too busy. All right, sons, let's get at it.
Wyatt, we're ready to go to press.
Yeah, so's the Nugget. If you You write that piece we were talking about?
There it is.
This is fine. The people need to be warned about election fraud. It is a felony.
Well, I don't think that'll stop the Clantons, Wyatt. You think we stand a chance?
This time, yes. Old man Clanton, he's so used to stealing elections in Tombstone, he'll be careless.
I think you and Fred White should have some more deputies.
Shotgun Gibbs is a fine deputy. If I can just talk Dr. Holliday into helping us, we'll be all right.
I wonder if you're right about not having a deputy at each polling place.
Mr. Clem, you know elections. Just because an election is stolen doesn't mean it has to stay stolen.
No, you're right, White. But I kind of think we're just whistling in the dark. Good night.
Good night, John.
Here, Judge Griscom's court orders appointing 10 of you election judges, 1 to a polling place.
Well, the rest of the boys be here, Papa.
Well, I told them to drift in 5 or 6 at a time. You, Finn.
Yes, Papa.
You keep an eye on Herb and see he don't come snooping around.
He better not.
You go with Finn. He might need help.
Sure, Papa.
Come on.
I am Circuit Judge Griscom.
Why, sure, Judge. How many ballots you want?
Just one, young man.
Only one? How's the election going, Judge?
The people will speak, sir.
I hope you voted for yourself.
That, sir, is impertinent. Good day.
That old hypocrite. He already voted twice before this.
Here you go, Doc. You're doing fine now. Just one more great big gulp of coffee. Go on, drink it up.
No, sir. No, sir. I'll show you how to wake a man.
Look, Doc, I need you. There's going to be trouble as soon as the polls close.
What's the fighting all about?
Well,
never mind. Don't tell me. I'm practically ready. Let's go find the shooting match.
Thank you, boys.
Well, this is the last one, Miss Nellie.
Thanks, Dick. I'll sure be glad when this is over.
Me too.
Count doesn't start until after supper, you know. Look, maybe you better go get Wyatt Earp.
Oh, shucks, Miss Nellie. Nobody's going to come in here and bother these ballot boxes.
All right. All right, boys, pick him up.
See, it was easy, Judge. Just put a couple on the table, the rest of them here on the floor. Now, you just appoint me special ballot counter along with Tim Riley there.
Well, didn't Earp try to stop you?
We never saw hide nor hair of Earp, Judge.
I think the coward's found himself a place to hide in.
Oh, hush up. Now, stations, everybody. You two stay here. We got a lot of votes to count. Get at it.
Judge, you stay here. Doc, you go up the back stairs. Shotgun and I will take the file out to the roof. Check your watches. You allow us exactly 5 minutes to get to Clanton's window. Doc, you rap on the hall door, create a ruckus. That'll be our signal.
And if there's a guard on the second floor?
Take him if Clanton won't let you in. We'll open the door for you when we get inside.
What about them guards downstairs?
Just have to worry about them after we throw down the ballot boxes. Don't try to catch them. We'll aim for the straw in the wagon.
You got them all open, boys?
Yeah.
Fine. Ooh, there's too many to count. We just make a rough estimate.
Well, now, wouldn't it look better if we had an accurate count, Mr. Clanton?
Well, what do you care how it looks? Clum's papers say we stole the election anyhow. See, I figure about 89 ballots for Griscom and maybe 14. That's enough for Spicer in this precinct. Who is it?
Doc Holliday.
Well, this ain't no poker game, Doc. Go away.
Let me in. I want to talk to you.
Go on. Get away. I'm busy.
Open up this door. You can't lock it in my face.
All right, hold it, Doc. I told you the old man didn't want you.
Open the door.
Drop him. Let Doc in. I don't want any more shooting.
This won't work, Earp. I got 10 good boys downstairs.
It'll work. Over against the door.
Not a step we don't.
Mr. Gibbs?
You want to stand up alive or be propped up dead?
You watch him, Doc. We'll take care of the ballot boxes.
Mr. Clanton, you all right? Mr. Clanton, can we shoot in the door?
No! Get away! We're standing right against it!
Spicer. Spicer. Griscom. Spicer.
You know, Wyatt and Mr. Gibbs should be back by now.
They're taking old man Clanton and Griscom to jail. Well, Spicer is the man who ought to be here.
He'll be riding in any minute now. Let's finish checking these ballots against the vote list.
Griscom. Spicer.
Court will rise. Circuit Court, Pima County, now in session. Judge Spicer presiding.
Marshal, bring in the prisoners.
Yes, sir.
Bring him in. All right, boys, march right in.
Mr. Clanton, you'll take off your hat, sir.
Sit down.
What are the charges, Marshal?
Election fraud, Your Honor. Mr. Clanton and his sons stole the ballot boxes, or their hired hands stole them. And I caught Mr. Clanton and Judge Griscom counting fraudulent ballots.
If the court please.
Yes?
My clients plead not guilty and ask to be admitted to bail.
Bail will be $10,000 each.
Well, I ain't paying it. This big galoot voted 10 times himself. You ain't arresting him.
That true, Marshal?
Yes, sir, it's true. Mr. Gibbs voted 10 times. And I have here the bribe money and the phony credentials he accepted from the Clanton Cowboys. Mr. Gibbs was acting under my orders as a special deputy.
I see. Mr. Clanton, you will pay the bond ordered by the court or go to jail.
For how long?
Oh, it may take 3 or 4 months for the prosecution to prepare its case against you.
3 or 4 months?
The bonds will be posted, Your Honor.
Today?
Well, yes, of course, today.
Good. Marshal, take these men to jail until that bond is posted with this court.
course.
Why, you pasty face.
Please,
Mr. Clanton, that won't do any good.
Marshal, if you please.
Always a pleasure, Your Honor. Mr. Clanton.
Court is dismissed.
This is a new day for Tombstone, Mr. Gerd.
Never thought I'd live to see it.
Too soon to celebrate.
A stable of water, Roscoe.
Oh, I always tell Roscoe good night, Wyatt. You run on along to Miss Nellis.
I can't do that. You're a marked man. You took $10 and some very important papers from the Clantons, remember?
I don't think they'd bushwhack me right here in the middle of town, do you?
It's still their town.
Whoa, Papa, now cool down.
Hush up. Count it, Finn. Count it! I'm so plumb mad I can't see straight.
About $2,000.
That's for you all boys. But you gotta kill Shotgun Gibbs first.
Right here in Tombstone?
Right here, and I tell you where he is. He's over in Pat McGinn's livery stable.
Are you sure?
He's in there, currying that mule. One more thing. Kill the mule, too.
We'll get them both, Papa.
Let's go.
Too hard to kill a mule.
Now, that ought to make Roscoe real happy. Now, let's move. There's setups in there.
Sure jumpy tonight. Here, hold these. Get a little more hay for Roscoe, and I'll be right with you.
Let's jump them now. Where they come out.
Come on, let's go.
All right, all right.
You fool! Now we'll have to smoke them out. All right, come on, let's get them.
Save your fire. We'll kick out some boys and run for it.
I ain't a-running.
This is no place to make a fight.
I ain't a-leaving Roscoe.
They'll come out of there. Or burn alive.
Don't make a move, any of you. All right, drop your guns. Put up your hands. You two, come on. All right, pick up these men and take them over to Dr. Goodfellas.
This one's dead.
Take the others. Now move!
Listen to me, you cowards! This is my town. This is still my town. And no Yankee carpetbagger's gonna take Tombstone from me. I'll live to bury Clum and Earp and Spicer and any other skunk what gets in my way. You hear me?
Want me to take him back to the lockup, Judge? Naturally. And no bond this time. He goes to jail for 10 days.
There's 4 Clanton cowboys that killed the Wells Fargo guard. You turned them loose?
Had no other choice. Ran into a Clanton ambush. Shotgun was hurt. You yourself said that he might have died.
Yeah. Well, get a posse together. As many as you need to catch them.
Doctor, those men are guarded by 100 top guns. I'll not have amateurs killed, and they would be fighting the Clantons.
What, Doctor?
John, Wyatt doesn't want to use a posse.
Any other way, Wyatt?
sir. Go after them one at a time.
You'll never make it alone?
Doc, I don't want men to die backing me up.
Well, that's very commendable, Wyatt. It does you credit, but it's quite unrealistic. I'm going to run an editorial asking for volunteers for a posse.
Well, I can't stop you, but I'm going to get those killers my way.
Wyatt, you're a fool.
Now, you listen to me. You take a posse out there, you're going to have a running gunfight for miles. You can count on at least a dozen men getting killed or wounded.
Wyatt's refusal of the citizens' posse threatened to get him into serious trouble. No peace officer on the frontier could afford to let prisoners escape, and Marshal Earp had to recapture 4 men guarded by 100 guns. Wyatt must do it alone or lead a big posse into battle with the Clanton gang. And he couldn't know the infamous 10% ring at Tucson had ideas of their own.
You haven't told me the idea yet, Ben. Drag a man all the way to Tucson.
You'll be told, Mr. Clanton. Dan Pretty and the boys are waiting. They want to talk to you first.
Well, I ain't surrendering, my boys, for no necktie party in Tombstone. Worst idea you fellas come up with yet, and let me tell you...
Hold on, Clanton. Keep your temper.
Temper? I'm as mad as a Gila lizard with a bullet in his tail.
All right,
ready
now that'll do. Sit down and listen.
Drag a man all the way to Tucson.
Washington and Governor Fremont have signed the order creating Cochise County.
Let me see them papers.
You'll have to surrender your boys. After all, we can't have a scandal in our new county the first week.
I told you I wouldn't let my men hang.
They won't hang. They won't even get a jail sentence.
Well, why don't you say so?
What we're trying to tell you is they're going to be fine. You have our word for it. You wouldn't doubt our word, would you?
Well, you never lied to me yet, Daniel. I'll tell the boys turn themselves in.
Fine. Oh, ask Johnny Bean to step in, will you?
Good morning, gentlemen.
You've been made sheriff of Cochise County.
It went through.
I told you it would. How many witnesses is Wyatt Earp against the Clanton Cowboys?
Just one. Jake Devers, the stage driver.
Where is he?
Under guard in a hotel.
You see to it that he doesn't testify.
But, gentlemen, are you asking me to...
Oh, shut up, Bean. You don't have to do the job yourself. Hire the job done.
Well, yes, sir. Gentlemen.
Men wanted. 4 Clanton Cowboys murdered the guard of a Wells Fargo stage last week. Marshal Wyatt Earp will lead a posse to arrest these men. The editor of the Epitaph has signed his name as first volunteer. All able-bodied men for law and order will sign their name. I'll sign mine.
I'll sign too.
Well, I don't know. You know, this is after back work is one of the done the same thing.
Howdy, Wyatt.
Oh, hi, Johnny. Where you been?
Tucson. Meet the new sheriff of Cochise County.
Hey, congratulations. You can hang on to this.
You could have had the job.
Oh, I doubt it. 10% ring, they wouldn't stand for it.
You can still be my chief deputy.
Well, I'll have to kind of think about that for a while. And by the way, there's your first job.
Job?
Yeah, Mr. Clum is organizing a posse to go after the Clanton gunmen. Since Marshal White has no jurisdiction in the county, it'll be your duty as a new sheriff to lead him in.
Oh, that won't be necessary. I've already sent word for Clanton's boys to give themselves up.
You mean Pony Deal and the others are just going to ride in here and surrender?
It's all arranged. Let me buy you some coffee while we talk about the chief deputy job.
I'll be glad to have one with you later, but right now I better tell Mr. Clum. No use in having a posse now.
A new county.
Yep.
Now, you say John Bean's going to be sheriff of this new county?
That's right.
And he's going to have the Clanton men surrender themselves.
That's what he said.
Well, it sounds rotten to me, White. I wonder where the fix is.
Well, he couldn't have fixed Judge Spicer.
No, that's true enough. He, talked to you about your legal status?
Well, I turned down the job as sheriff. He offered me the job of his chief deputy.
Well, that settles it. I'm going to call a meeting of the Citizens Protective Committee, White. I've known Johnny Bean in Tucson. I knew him again in Prescott. Of course, he's ingratiated himself here by helping to raise the hospital fund. But I think he's a member of the 10% ring.
So do I.
You what?
Well, I don't know, Miss Nellie. I think we ought to wait and see.
White, you're going to be his chief deputy?
No, I'm not a deputy sheriff anymore. The only jurisdiction I have is in federal cases.
Yes, that's right, isn't it?
Then what can we do?
I'd say we get Mr. Clum appointed acting mayor.
Oh, no.
Now, Randall is under charges of malfeasance. He left town yesterday.
Then the other members of the city council can't object much if you, Doctor, and Miss Nellie insist.
That's right. I don't think they'll want to expose themselves.
Well, now, wait a minute, Miss Nellie. That's nice of you to say, but... well, I'm a newspaper man, not a politician. I can't be mayor.
John, this is an emergency.
He'll only have to serve until we can hold an election. The idea is for you to appoint Wyatt deputy city marshal under Marshal White.
Well, that's a good idea.
It's more than just a good idea. It's our only defense against being. Well, I've got to get back to the office. I move the meeting adjourned.
Just a minute, Doctor. I think my appointment ought to be kept secret for a day or so. And if Bean is a member of the 10% ring, well, he may show his hand.
I'm for that.
Well, I agree. Miss Nellie?
We back to the hospital?
Heard?
Doctor?
Yes.
allowed.
Good night, Miss Nellie.
Good night, Doc.
Good night.
John.
Good night, John.
Quiet. Good night.
Good night, White.
Good night.
Quiet.
Oh, hello, Johnny.
What was that all about? You know, if you're going to be my chief deputy, we shouldn't have any secrets.
Well, I've decided against that, Johnny.
Why?
Well, you're a politician and I'm not. Well, I don't think we get along.
How do you figure?
Well, there's one thing you haven't told me. How come old man Clanton would surrender his boys to you?
A lawyer advised it. They don't think you have a case.
You agree with him?
Well, it's your case. I wasn't sheriff when the killing happened. I'm just helping out. If you'd throw in with me, we could split $40,000 a year. Fees and bounties.
That's a lot of money. I better check on Doc. He's been in the poker game most of the night. See you later.
Ante up, Gibbs.
Where's your money?
Most of it's laying right there in front of you two fellers.
Let's let him off the hook, Doc.
Well?
Doc and I has been whipsawing you. Three-handed poker always leads into temptation.
Well, you wouldn't cheat me, would you, Doc?
Bet your life I would.
Well, if that don't take all.
I'd cheat Wyatt, too, if he didn't know so much about poker. Speaking of the deacon.
Lock it again. Well, gentlemen, Mr. Johnny Behan is our new sheriff of our new county.
You're joshing.
No, official.
Is he wearing a gun?
He said old man Clanton is sending Pony Deal and the others in to surrender.
What's the fix?
I don't know. We better get Mr. Devers over to another hotel. You're our only witness to the murder. Put him over at Miss Cashman's.
Well, that'd be a waste of energy. I'll go shoot Johnny Bean myself.
That isn't going to help.
I never did like Bean. This is the time we gotta go start shooting Wyatt. I've told you that, and Shotgun's told you. We should have killed Pony and his boys without trying to bring them here for a trial they don't deserve.
Now, wait a minute. No fool's play, Doc. Bean's wearing a star this time.
That's right, Doc. They'd hang you for sure.
Maybe I can insult Johnny into drawing first.
No, they'd still hang you. Well,
Maybe I was wrong about being. We could have misjudged him.
It ain't likely. Here comes Pony and his boys.
There's only one reason they'd surrender to Bean. Are you satisfied now he ought to be killed?
He isn't worth hanging for. Mr. Gibbs, we're going to move Mr. Devers.
I ain't scared, Wyatt.
Well, I am. Doc, you give him a hand. I want to talk to those Clantons.
Well, Ben? Don't say anything out here. Inside, quick. In here.
I want to know, has Devers been killed yet?
Not so loud.
Old man Clanton told us you'd have him killed by now.
I know, Pony. You wait in here. You've got nothing to worry about. You'll be told the whole thing later.
All right, but it better be good.
Oh, Wyatt. I just locked up the men you were after.
Well, thank you kindly. Any objection if I talk to him?
Not at all. Help yourself.
You must have known you'd hang. Somebody promised you an easy sentence or an acquittal?
We don't tell you what our lawyers are going to prove.
I see, an alibi. Well, I guess that could be rigged. I wish you luck.
Well?
They've rigged an alibi. Would you do anything about that?
Great Scott, why would I?
I'm trying to believe in you, Johnny, but you got those boys in here too easy.
Maybe they do have an alibi. The stage driver could have been mistaken.
No, he couldn't. They didn't even bother to keep on their masks.
You trying to get me mixed up in this? I did you a favor when I persuaded old man Clanton to send those fellows in.
Why would Clanton do you a favor?
Lots of reasons. I'm the sheriff now. I collect taxes. This is a new county. The old man doesn't know how he stands. And I won't take an insult from you or anyone else.
Well, if the shoe fits, Johnny, you call me out.
What good would that do? You're faster with a gun, but if you killed me, they'd hang you. Look, I tried to make you my chief deputy. And I tried to be friends, Wyatt.
I tried too. I needed friends in this town.
Everybody rise. Circuit Court of Cochise County, now in session. Judge Spicer presiding.
Order in the court. Mr. Bean, bring in the prisoners. You men are charged with the murder of Tony Briscoe, a Wells Fargo guard. How do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Mr. Earp, I believe you have an eyewitness.
Yes, sir. They're bringing him over from the hotel.
Also shoot! Don't try!
This here polecat shot our only witness.
Now, you could have just winged him. You might have been able to tell us who hired him to have it done.
It would have cost him his life to do it, just as it cost Jake Davis.
Now we haven't got a case.
You better toughen up, Wyatt. This is a shooting town.
I done the best I could, White. I called to him to halt. Besides, it ain't easy to wing a man with a 10-gauge slug.
Well, what's done is done. I'll have to go tell Judge Spicer. Take care of him. Our witness, Mr. Devers, has just been murdered, and his guards killed the murderer. But if the court will grant a continuance, I'm sure I can find the man or the men who had this done.
He never had no case against us, and now he admits it.
Sit down. Do you have any information which might lead to the men who hired the murderer?
Not right now, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Earp. The court cannot hold anyone without reasonable evidence. It is this court's unpleasant duty to dismiss the case.
Well, Doc, the judge turned them fellers loose.
Where's Johnny Bean?
Over at that fancy new office of his in the courthouse, I reckon.
Mr. Gibbs, it is my considered judgment that Johnny Bean hired that killer.
Yeah, mine too. But we can't hardly prove that.
This is my judge and jury. You go tell Johnny Bean that I'm gonna shoot him on sight.
And you just try that and they're gonna hang you.
Yeah, I know. They'll hang me. They haven't got much time left anyway. I don't know a better way for a man to die.
Doc, you're a mite sad.
Yes. I'll clear that up right now. It's just like clear, cool water running through a slightly fevered brain. Mr. Gibbs, you're a man of the frontier. How long do you think it'll be before Bean hires another gun to bushwhack Wyatt?
Yeah, it's got me worried, Doc. That feller today had one of them magnifying sights on his rifle. Picked off poor old Jake right betwixt us.
Mr. Gibbs, we're wasting precious time. We better get Johnny Bean out of this world right now before I have another coughing spell.
Now, Wyatt ain't gonna favor you killing him.
We'll present Deacon Earp with a fait accompli.
A fait of what?
Fait accompli. That's French for killing first and telling Wyatt later. Well, are you going to present the challenge, or do I have to expend precious breath?
No, you just keep your seat. I'll go tell that runny hog.
Mr. Gibbs, you're a prince of royal blood, sir.
Wyatt, it's too bad.
Oh, it's worse than too bad.
Well, all we can do now is try to link John Bean with a 10% ring. Here's your deputy marshal's badge. Pin it on.
There's no point in warning Johnny what we suspect. We'll just let him get overconfident. We'll keep this hidden for a while.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Wyatt! You better come quick.
What's wrong now?
Doc and Johnny Bean are going to have a shootout over in front of the courthouse. Now, I favored it at first, but the more I got... Oh, that feller sure can move, can he?
Come on out, Sheriff. I want to see the kind of peace officer the ring sent to Tombstone. Bean, I said come out. And come healed.
Now, just a moment, Dr. Holliday. I want the witnesses to observe that you're drunk and you challenge me to a gunfight.
I'll give you the first shot. You draw first.
No, Doc. Go on inside. I'll cool him off.
You'd better. If he shoots at me, he'll hang.
And you'll be dead. That's a fair exchange.
He means it. Go on inside.
I want him arrested for threatening me. I'm an officer of the law.
Get inside like I told you. Stay there and shut up.
All right, but I want the records to show that I didn't fear him.
Doc, you need some sleep.
You'll regret this to your dying day.
All right, all right.
He's thrown in with the Clantons.
We can't prove that.
Deacon and Tombstone, you can't prove anything. You just shoot on a reasonable suspicion.
Deputy Town Marshal, Mr. Clanton. Now, you and your son are going to jail.
On what charge?
Shooting at a peace officer and galloping horses down Allen Street.
Well, I ain't going.
No?
No.
Let's go.
All right. Then what happened, Wyatt?
Well, then Judge Spicer fined them $50 apiece, sentenced them to a night in jail.
Well, a $50 fine certainly isn't important, but that night in jail, that's wonderful. Just wonderful.
Turn the Clantons loose?
I had no choice. Their lawyer came in with a writ of habeas corpus.
What do you mean you had no choice? They were sentenced by Judge Spicer. You could have kept them for 24 hours. You know that.
All right. I know that.
And I know something else, finally. You belong to the Clantons and the 10% ring. Mr. Bean, among other things, you're a pipsqueak and a weakling.
You can't talk to me that way.
Why not?
I'm the sheriff. You'd better be careful.
No, you be careful. Now, you've gone too far today. You had my witness killed, got Pony Deal released, and now you let my prisoners go. 3 victories in one day. That's too many for a new sheriff. Now, don't you ever give me proof or I'm going to toss you in jail. And don't go for that gun. In your honor, my trigger finger just might slip. Save your shells until they come at us.
Just go down and get them before there's too many of them.
Old man Clanton's a bigger fool than I thought he was. Apaches and soldiers to deal with, and all he can think about is getting at us.
I've been waiting a long time to get Earp in a spot like this. We'll never have a better chance to kill him.
Wyatt's feud with Old Man Clanton and his cowboys had been a standoff at best. The Clantons controlled Cochise County, including its sheriff, John Behan. But Old Man Clanton, like most of his ilk, was corrupted by power. And in what is known as the Dice Box Canyon mystery, Old Man Clanton let his foot slip.
Marshal Earp, see, Colonel Ingram.
Yes, sir. Colonel's expecting you.
Old Man Clanton has put a claim in for $7,000 as an Army beef supplier. Claims his last shipment to us was rustled by Apaches. If it's true, then he's entitled to his money, but I wouldn't believe Clanton under oath.
Sir, are there any Apaches in the Dragoon Mountains now?
One small band, led by young Geronimo.
Old Geronimo's son. He wouldn't steal army beef. He knows better.
It's not likely, especially now with truce talks on. I think Clanton stole his own beef, but I can't pay or refuse his claim without proof. Yet if I, as the Army, ask young Geronimo and he's wrongly accused, then he'll hit the warpath pronto.
Well, I might be able to get away with it. But first, I'll have a talk with Emma Clanton.
The old man's daughter?
Yeah. We're not too friendly, but she does try to keep her own man out of serious trouble.
Well, if that fails, then we'll have to go to young Geronimo. But you tell her for me this trouble is more than serious. Clanton might lose his scalp.
Yes, sir.
Who is it?
Marshal Earp.
Did you bring Nellie Cashman along for chaperone?
Thank you for coming into town, Miss Emma.
All right. What's my father done now?
You accused some Apaches of rustling?
Is that all?
Well, these particular Apaches happen to follow young Geronimo. Here, take a look at this.
Where'd you get that?
From a dead rancher who had also accused Geronimo of stealing.
Well, my father didn't accuse Geronimo of anything.
Well, you better find out just what your father did do. You want your ranch raided by Apaches?
No, of course not.
Well, there isn't much time. You show this knife to your father. You remind him that Geronimo kills the men, makes the women slaves.
Have you been listening, Papa?
Yep.
Now, Mr. Earp doesn't waste any time on us. He meant every word.
Just trying to scare you.
I want the straight of it. Did the Apaches run off that herd?
No, sis, it didn't.
And you stole them yourself.
Only way I could get even with them soldiers at the fort. Been downgrading every beef I delivered. Government owes me $7,000.
Well, what about young Geronimo?
Well, nobody's gonna tell him what I said in my claim. Who'd carry such a tale to them Apaches, believing our worst enemy again me?
Mr. Earp has the Army with him, Papa. How can they pay you without investigating?
The Army, let them prove that the Apaches didn't run off that herd. You got my word that they did. That's all they need. I'm an honest rancher, sis. I pay my taxes. I don't hide my cattle in Mexico at appraisal time.
You just made a false claim, Papa.
Now, Em, I don't want no more talk about this. You get in that kitchen and see that we have dinner on time. There's plenty of homebody work to be done around here.
Yes, Papa.
And you stop talking to that Earp, too.
Well, you told me to keep on speaking terms with him to get information.
I don't care what I told you. It's what I tell you right now that counts. You hear me? No more talking to him.
Not unless I have to, and you cool off, Papa.
Any Indians in town?
Indians? Yeah, a few. Why?
Have to make a visit to young Geronimo. Army business.
Patches?
Yeah. You scout around, see if you can find us a guide to the Dragoon country.
Right.
I talked to Papa. He said the Apaches did steal his cattle, so he's entitled to that $7,000.
Well, I'm sorry, Miss Emma, but I don't believe you, Father, and you can tell him I said so. What the Apaches do now is on his head, and you can tell him I said that, too.
I'm not telling him anything. I'm not even supposed to be speaking to you.
Well, you're speaking.
For the last time, Papa's right about you. You're just a pig-headed lawman.
Right in here. Come on in. Your name's Low Dog, White. Says he can lead us to young Geronimo.
You Apache?
Uncle to young Geronimo. Half-brother Geronimo.
Show him that there coup stick, Low Dog.
Used to be a sub-chief, I see.
I found 20 gallons of fire water on his pack horse. Young Geronimo wouldn't trust just anybody to buy that much.
All right, Low Dog. I must speak to young Geronimo. Will you take us to your nephew?
$20.
Look, I could throw you in jail.
$20.
I'm afraid he's got us, White. Most of the fellers I talked to wouldn't go near an Apache camp for $1,000.
$20.
Very well, Low Dog. $20.
Good. Me go.
Where's young Geronimo's camp?
In valley over a big climb. No see campfire yet.
Won't see no Apaches neither, White. They'll see us.
Young Geronimo, smart chief.
Who are these men?
Johnny Law from Tombstone. They catch me with whiskey.
Old fool. Why did they bring you here?
They say they must come talk to young Geronimo.
Very well.
You wait here, Mr. Gibson. Young Geronimo, I need your help to clear your name.
There is no cloud over the name of young Geronimo.
Old man Clanton told the Army you stole their beef.
That is lie.
I believe you, and so does Colonel Ingram at the fort. But the cattle are missing, so he needs proof.
Plenty cattle run wild. I do not steal beef. I kill Clanton. For this lie, Apache kill.
Low Dog tells me that you are a wise young chief.
That is so.
Then have your scouts locate that herd. Take it to the fort.
Why should I do that?
You will prove that Clanton lied, and do more than clear young Geronimo's honor.
How more?
Well, if you prove that Clanton is a thief, you won't have to kill him.
Perhaps.
And I'll recommend that you get paid for delivering the herd.
You pay us for cattle?
It'll be a pleasure.
Good. We find cattle. Ochakawa! 100!
All right, lift him. Try and gag him. No more guard. Just these two, huh? All right, have your scouts start the herd towards the fort.
Why drive to fort? Why not steal cattle?
You gave word of honor.
That is so. Young Geronimo, not so wise. We keep word.
Indians rustled the dice box herd.
Indians?
Got the whole herd. Shot Ollie in the shoulder and cracked Denver's skull. Left them both tied up.
Well, you sure it was Indians, Ike?
Apache pony tracks all over.
Well, round up the boys, fast. I'll learn them Apaches. If I have to take 100 men, I'll massacre the varmints.
Use your head, Papa.
You keep out in this, sis.
Do you want to go to prison?
Prison?
You can't fight the Apaches. If they don't get you, the Army will.
Them's my cattle.
No, they're not. You signed a statement swearing they'd been rustled.
Well, I can get them back, can't I?
Well, that would only prove to Colonel Ingram you've been lying.
You give me my gun belt. Ain't nobody gonna raid my property.
All right, go ahead. Tangle with young Geronimo. Get his father on the warpath, too. I've done all I can do to keep you out of trouble.
Well, what makes you think it's young Geronimo?
Well, you told the Army that he stole your cattle, didn't you?
Well, who told him I did?
Well, I don't know. Could have been Wyatt Earp or anybody.
Earp? Why, that's no good, sidewinding Johnny Law, trying to get us massacred.
He warned you.
That settles it. Lawman or not, I'm gonna...
Wyatt Earp is coming in the front yard with the whole army.
The army?
Detail, halt!
Just hold it, boys. No shooting at soldiers.
Mr. Clanton, Colonel Ingram wants you at the fort.
Huh. A lot of good that'll do.
You just had to stir up the Apaches against us, didn't you?
It's an even choice between the Apaches and the Clantons, Miss Emma.
Get on your horse, Clanton.
All right, Finn. Round up the rest of the boys. John Law ain't heard the last of this.
Detail, about, ho!
Get Earp and Gibbs on their way back to Tombstone after they turn Papa loose. They won't have the Army with them then.
Yeah, and I know the perfect spot.
Mr. Clanton, Chief Geronimo delivered your steers to us at the request of Marshal Earp. They weighed out at $7,000, the amount of your claim for them.
Told you he stole them.
Marshal Earp, where did you and Deputy Gibbs find the Clanton herd?
At Dicebox Canyon, on his spread.
Mr. Clanton, it seems that you're a thief as well as a liar. But since you haven't collected the money from the government, the charges of fraud may be dropped.
Just pay me my money. I'm getting out of here.
Not yet, sir. There's a matter here of falsely accusing Chief Geronimo and inciting Apaches to war. That is a felony.
I called him a rustler. He is a rustler. He stole them.
He didn't rustle your stock. You did that yourself. He'd have hardly left him on your land if he had. Marshal Earp, have you discussed this with Chief Geronimo?
Yes, sir, I have. He will not seek retribution for the dishonor to his name.
Is that your word, Chief Geronimo?
It is my word.
Colonel Ingram, I recommend that young Geronimo and his scouts be paid for their services. They worked very hard to drive that beef in here.
Excellent idea, Marshal. The 7,000 should be divided. Half to Mr. Clanton and half to Chief Geronimo for the trail drive and to compensate for slandering his name.
Who ever heard of slandering an Apache?
Easy now, easy.
Young Geronimo is an honored chief. Now, would you rather answer charges in a federal court?
No. But this is plain robbery.
That'll do, sir. The chief shall be paid $3,500. Marshal Earp, will you please escort Chief Geronimo to the quartermaster?
It is justice, Colonel. I thank you. Mr. Clanton is lucky man. He still has his scalp. He should watch his tongue.
Mr. Clanton, if anything happens to Marshal Earp, I'll lead a column to your ranch myself. Here's your money. Think it over.
You forget my $20?
I'm sorry, Low Dog. 1, 2, 3, 4.
My nephew. We ride with Mr. Earp and Mr. Gibbs towards Tombstone.
Yes. There is angry man and bad trail.
Yeah, we sure would appreciate a few more guns.
No. I don't want you and your braves fighting Clanton. Thank you just the same.
He is right. But if you are killed, I will avenge you, my friend.
Thanks.
Avenging me and Roscoe ain't gonna be a heap of satisfaction to us.
What do you want me to do? Ask the colonel for an escort?
Why, of course not. That'd be humiliating.
Well, just cheer up, Mr. Gibbs.
Yeah? Why?
Old man Clanton's pride is stung, but he isn't ready to bushwhack Johnny Laws just now. He'd have young Geronimo and the Army after him.
You hear that, Roscoe? A few days after we're dead, all them Clantons is gonna be dead, too. I'm sure Roscoe's a lot happier now.
Will you stop jabbering and get on his back? The trail I picked has only got one spot where they can ambush us. If it's gonna happen, I want it to happen before dark. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, this looks like the spot. Come on. Come on, put the horses away.
Now, they have to come around that bend in the fort. And when they do, we'll take them.
Not too many of them.
This trail goes downhill. They'll see us. This what you figured on?
Yeah. To make that fight here.
Papa.
Yeah. Well, this is a real nice spot.
How do you figure our chances?
About 50-50 if I haven't made a big mistake.
Well, maybe they won't come up here after us.
Let's hope not.
Roscoe, heads up! Hey, Papa, that's Gibbs' mule.
Loudmouth mule.
Right up there, Papa. Let's go get him.
Hush up, Ike. I'm studying this. Go get some more men. Now, we'll pin them down until they get here. And then we'll circle.
Stop him, Wyatt.
No, I'd have to kill him.
Well, ain't it about time?
Not yet.
Now let's really pin him down.
Save your shells until they come at us.
Let's go down and get them before there's too many of them.
Old man Clanton's a bigger fool than I thought he was. Apaches and soldiers to deal with, and all he can think about is getting at us.
Two men trying to flank us on the left over there, White.
I see him. Here goes.
Right up there, boys. Pour it on him.
I'm gonna cut loose.
Oh, wait. Let him rush us.
There goes one to the other side over there.
All right, take him.
It's Army!
Hold the fire, boys. Boy, them soldiers. Mount up. Let's go.
Well, that was sure a close one, wasn't it?
Too close. They were late.
Who was?
The Army. I wasn't sure they'd hear the shooting.
You mean you had that figured out all the time?
Well, I hoped it would work out that way.
Well, I'd sure appreciate you letting me in on these things. I got too much gray hair as 'tis.
Makes you look more distinguished, Mr. Gibbs. Now, let's go down and thank the boys, huh?